can go.
All right, let's start it. So I should go now?
No, wait.
Okay.
Hi, French Tech Indonesia. Welcome to this new session of Lunch and Learn, Season 2, Episode 4. To start, let me introduce a bit about La French Tech. La French Tech is a non-profit organization that gathers 63 communities in 50 countries around the world. In Indonesia, we are 180 plus like-minded entrepreneurs, investors, and talents. Our mission is to build an inclusive community to foster the French entrepreneurial footprint in the region and the Indonesian tech ecosystem. We envision La French Tech Indonesia to be the go-to hub for entrepreneurs, investors, and other tech startups actors in Indonesia. We organize on a regular basis these lunch and learn, networking meetups, pitch and plays, and annual tech summits. If you are not already a member, just go to frenchtech.id and join our network. I already add the link on the comment section, so you can just click there and join us. This being said, let's get to what brings us all here today. Lunch and Learn Season 2, Episode 4 by La French Tech, Introduction to Marketing Gamification by David Prefer. David is an entrepreneur and founder of Gamotions, a gaming as a service company. His passion lies in human behavior, behavioral economics, and leveraging gaming to create effective marketing solutions for various industries. In today's session, you will learn how game mechanics can help engage audiences and drive behaviors. What is gamification? Why gamification matters in marketing? Key game mechanics for marketing, real-life examples, and case studies. Ask your questions at our Q&A session at the end. David, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Reza. Let's dive right into it at the same time. Okay. So marketing gamifications, and Reza, you briefly introduced. So who I am? Yes, I'm running Gamotions, right? Previously, years ago, I started in gamification as a trainer and then as a training consultant, creating activities, so gamified activities, even if I was not calling those gamified at that time. But so it goes back quite many years ago. In Indonesia, I also distributed, not built at that time, but distributed games for many years. And now with Gamotion, as you said, we're gaming as a service company. So we help brands in their marketing through gamification. Our goal in this session is to understand how gamification, game mechanics can help you engage the audiences, drive user behaviors. Our agenda is defining very briefly what we mean by gamification. How would that matter? How would that be useful for you in marketing? How to start using it, get some measured, proven benefits, and 2 case studies only, otherwise that would take too long, and QA. And just before we start, a big thanks to Kadokita and Bapareza for the sponsorship of the short quiz, interactive quiz prior to the session. We'll come back to this later on, and we'll inform the winner after the session. But first of all, what is gamification? So the best way is to go through the definition given by the guy who coined the term 20 years ago, a game developer, but not only. It's the use of game elements and mechanics in non-game contexts. So by game elements, we mean the points, the leaderboards, the levels, every element you find in games, the progress bars, the avatars. But those elements by themselves do not make a game. Usually you need to put those game elements into what we call game mechanics, meaning the set of rules, the system, that bring everything together. So that includes the things like the objective, giving the direction to the users in the game, the rules and the constraints. One basic constraint example is the time available. Of course, you for example, if you have 2 minutes in a racing game to reach the finish line, that's a example of constraint. Progress and reward. Each time milestone and achievements are done, what is given to the players. And finally, feedback and consequences, like giving permanent signs to the users about what is done right, what is done wrong, and guiding the user into navigating into the game environment. So that's what we call by game mechanics. And all of this in a non-game context, that would be anything that is not an actual game. So today, that's marketing. It can also be education. It can be the workplace in general. So anything that is not an actual game. So gamification is to bring those elements into those contexts. That's gamification. Why would it matter into marketing? I would say that it would matter because the audience needs or require it, and because it's effective. Why would that be required for the audience? Is that like we are all absolutely bombarded right now with information and advertising all day long, not only online but massively online. So there is a growing ad fatigue. There are multiple studies showing that people are using more and more ad blockers. We are clearly exposed to too many ads, and this is done passively. The attention span is shrinking, so brands are facing a bigger challenge every year in order to get their message out. That's the situation with the audience, and there are the people are increasingly playing games. The image we have is still very often that it's young male, potentially even geeks, playing games. It's absolutely not true anymore. Every age range play game, even above 50, above 60. Those older players are, by the way, very loyal players. The male to female is extremely balanced. Female 51%, male 49% worldwide. So it's very balanced. And this little thing we went through recently called COVID brought a lot of people that didn't try games before, digital games, to try them. And the ones we were using increased their usage. So that's why I'm saying the audience is demanding and is ready for that kind of gamified activity. And why would that work? I would go extremely fast on this, but there are, of course, studies checking what the brain is producing when we are playing, and all these extremely positive neurotransmitters that we produce when we are playing are helping reap the benefits that we will go through. And that is one of the reasons why it's working. But I will spend a little bit more time on how we use the core engines inside humans that makes us motivated to act. So gaming in general and gamification is really good at tapping into those core motivational drivers. There is a reason where human beings like to what is called epic meaning, like to do something for a greater cause, for something bigger than ourselves. So in game narratives, we can easily tap into this development and accomplishment. It's like, in order to be happy, human beings need to feel progress. So in games, not only you progress very regularly, but you get very frequent feedback of that progress being made. So the sense of accomplishment is definitely there. Ownership can be tapped into through items, through customizable avatars, etc. So the more you tune something into what you like, the more you feel you own it. we are very social animals, so we like to compare to each other, just like in leaderboard, just like when you get messages telling you, okay, you did better in that game than X% of the players. So you permanently have this social feedback into gaming. Scarcity and impatience. As human beings, we always want what we cannot get, or at least what is hard to get. And that's very easy to use also for gaming. Like the game we're currently running in Indonesia for a bank, you only have, for example, 3 lives per day in order to attempt to reach high score. And you even have from 5 to 6 p.m. just before Buka Puasa, you have a special score, so you can get even a bigger chance. So we tap into things like that. Curiosity and novelty. You have new things implemented in game all the time, so you tap into that. And the very powerful loss avoidance. I'll come back into this quickly later. So thanks to what's happening in the brain, thanks to how we tap into real strong motivational drivers, we believe that gamification has superpowers where, while it's very difficult to get attention of people through immersive gameplay, of course, people get absorbed and give full attention, which is extremely precious. It triggers emotional responses like pride, like curiosity, like achievement. So it creates emotional connection with the brand, which on the long term generate loyalty. It's not passive, it's active and it's interactive. So people are engaged, are acting with the brand. So the effect is a lot more powerful than just a passive activity. As we said, it creates a sense of achievement. So it's positive reinforcement, increased brand loyalty over time. We all know that repetition helps to remember things, but repetition can be annoying. That's not the case through gamified experience. You go through the message several times, but as you are advancing into something fun, so you get the benefit of the repetition without the issue. And then finally, the valuable feedback superpower. It's getting more and more difficult to collect data properly from users. In gamified experiences, users are willing voluntarily, it's a very important word and very important in gamification, people are willing to give their data to have a fun experience and potentially to get a reward in the end. So through those motivations, they provide their own personal data, and the brands can also collect their preferences. They can also analyze the behavior. So those are what we call the superpowers. And if brands or businesses want to start digging into those gamified marketing, the first thing would be to look at the different tools available easily, because they're much more complex tools. But like the first one is the one that some people used yesterday in order to get this pre-session quiz, where the point for me was first to test the knowledge of participants and to start giving away some knowledge. Like it was interactive, so if you clicked on the right answer, it was green, wrong answer red, but giving you the green light on the area that you should have clicked, etc. So it was a way to start doing that, and for me to start getting people ready. And those quizzes and surveys can be done in multiple different kind of contexts. So that's very important to be able to adapt in whatever you need to be digging and the kind of information you want to be getting. So there are also playable ads where, as the name indicates, you simply directly play inside the advertising. Game publishers themselves are using that one massively, where you can see you see a game advertising where you can play, let's say, one level, and if you like it, then you will download the game, but you really directly test the game into the ad. And this is now moving into marketing as well. L'Oreal is using it, Ford, Burger King are going into this, where they also want to stand out directly in the advertising space. The one we focus right now on Gamotions is advert game. People call it marketing game, branded game. There are many names, but that's usually an instant game. So you click and you play, you don't download the game. It's instant play, click and play. And that's roughly, they're usually snackable. So between 30 to 60 seconds gameplay is very common for marketing games. And that's a very growing trend in marketing worldwide for the reasons we saw before, to avoid the kind of issues we discussed about earlier. Virtual reality and augmented reality are available for advert games, for playable ads and other aspects. That's growing. Virtual reality is still pretty pricey and very consuming in terms of resources. So I would say, like, for example, for Indonesia, that's quite difficult. But augmented reality is less demanding in terms of resources. It's getting easier, it's getting cheaper to develop. And it's a very powerful tool. It's immersive because augmented reality is that you film around your surrounding reality, to which, so it's your own environment, to which you mix the brand element and the game elements. So it's something that users appreciate, and the results are very powerful. And so, of course, before it was requesting very big teams to develop things like that, and there are new tools coming progressively, allowing to develop other games, playable ads using AR in a much faster and cheaper way. In our case, we are looking into launching a first one in the second part of this year, because really it's coming. And the last one is heavier in terms of development, because it's to gamify a user interface, a user flow for application or for site. Of course, you need to interact with a lot of existing parameters, many existing parameters. So it takes a lot more time to do that properly. But we'll see one quick sample later on of something that was done very effectively by a brand. So those are I would say, the main gamified marketing tools available. And the first step into looking into how to use gamification for the needs would be to ask the right question, the right set of questions. So first of all, it's about really defining what kind of pain point we believe we are addressing by gamifying an experience. What is really the challenge we are looking into? And once this is done, is to be user focused and to know precisely and to dig precisely what are really the behaviors we expect the players or the users to do, what kind of action are required. So could be that through the vouchers earned through gaming, the objective is for them to go and buy the discounted products thanks to the voucher. The behavior is to fill in a list of data that the brand really needs, etc. So it's really about listing the actions required. Offers and rewards don't need to be expensive, but are very effective. So that's something that is not mandatory, but very recommended, is to offer some kind of reward. And it doesn't need, again, it doesn't need to be very expensive. One of the reasons is also that something you earn through gaming, let's say the same voucher of 100,000, earning that one through gaming, the value perceived will be a lot stronger than if it's given randomly to you. So the value of what you could be offering to users is perceived in a much better way. Of course, classic budget timing, Is it something that is going into a larger ongoing marketing campaign, and how that would fit into that? And then, like for any other marketing activity, before anything starts, the KPIs and the success metrics must be defined, very clearly defined, and must be monitored. In our case, we have online dashboard where we monitor every parameter that we discuss about with a partner. That's online, that's real time, and we really that's also one way to do fine tuning when it's needed. But if you don't have very clear KPIs from day one, and if you don't start monitoring, then that's swimming in blurry water. So that's extremely important to take that into account. And there are studies, there are multiple existing case studies, and there are research. I will pass quickly through the research collected here. There are absolutely many existing ones, but that's proving at multiple levels in different countries at different moments how powerful that can be if done right. Because of course there are some counter examples of that. There are some marketing games or gamified experiences that didn't go right, but by following those steps, then we can reap that kind of benefits. And I have two quick case studies. That one is probably the most famous gamified UI on the market right now. That's Starbucks, this small coffee company. So their goal was to boost loyalty and to incentivize repeat purchase. And they created a full gamified app with badges, with loyalty, and with tiers. Just like airlines are doing, you know, with those silver, gold, and platinum. And that's related partially, that kind of tier mechanism is related to the loss aversion we were talking about previously. In terms of result, the people following this program were in average coming in shops 5 times a month versus 3 to 3.5, spending a lot more. It's a massive success, and they keep developing new ways to boost their reward system. It's a massive success and a very good case study. So, but that's heavier, that's UI development. This one by KFC is a much shorter one to develop. It's an advertising game. KFC is about chicken, and suddenly they wanted to launch a shrimp product. So they decided to use a game to inform people and make fun with it. And as KFC is all about chicken, those shrimps were attacking the KFC chicken castle. So the very smart thing is also that users were protecting the brand, were protecting the castle from those funny shrimps attacking. And they ran into a problem. They had to stop mid-campaign because no more products. It was so successful that they ran out of products. People at the end of this gameplay were getting vouchers. They loved the game. They kept playing. It was a very simple gameplay. So they had to stop the campaign because they didn't have any products anymore. Up a bit more than 21 minutes. I talked pretty fast in order to go there. Thanks a lot for staying with me until now. So if you have questions, please go ahead.
Thank you, David. That was really, really interesting, and I love every time it makes me laugh. This example of KFC. For those who need to leave now, don't worry. There will be a replay session on our YouTube channel. So there's absolutely no problem. So we are waiting for your questions. We take another 5-7 minutes additional if it's okay with you, and for your questions. Is there any question?
I have a question. Are there It seems to be very, very useful, very efficient in terms of a marketing tool. Is there are there industry or type of products where gamification doesn't work as well as for others, or it's like, you know, according to your experience, really, potentially addressing any marketing needs, no matter the location, the culture, the product, the industry, whatsoever?
It's a very good question, because we often see people linking that kind of activity more to specific industries, to specific verticals. So from what we see, that would be more that some gamification types would not apply to every industry. So there is a game for every marketing need, but not every game and every gamification process would match with that. So it's really, it comes back to really going through the flow about the understanding the objective and going through what the audience and what their desired action are. And then based on that, we can build the right gamified experience matching with it. It's in B2B, it's also possible. It can be very different, but it's totally possible. So it's across every marketing needs. I would say that because it's an intrinsic, like we are all players, even people who don't play on their phone, either they are playing golf, they are playing with their kids, we are all playing, and it's a natural way for us to learn, for us to interact. So because it's very deeply into our human condition, it's just how we bring that to the right case.
David, a follow-up question on this question. What are the common pitfalls to avoid?
It's related, in fact, right? So the pitfalls are about, for example, taking an existing successful game, the nice KFC, they ran out of products, so I want the same one. I want to sell so many products, I ran out of it. Let me take it, without really digging, preparing, analyzing what are your real needs and how to adapt. So the pitfall would be to go too fast, take one game because the digital lead or the marketing director is playing that kind of game, and then copy that to whatever is the current situation. That would be the pitfall. Not go through the right questioning to adapt something, and not preparing to measure properly what is being done.
Cool. And just one question from me also. How long it takes to develop game?
So depending on the complexity of the game, so we try usually, especially for advert games, for those snackable 30 to 60 seconds game, we go for simple hyper casual games. So we don't go for AAA Fortnite, right? And that would be a totally different budget as well. So in terms of time, it's I would say it's a minimum of 4 weeks. 4 to 6, 7 weeks, according to the complexity of the game and to the level of personalization that is required.
Great, thank you. Is there any other questions?
Apparently, that's it.
No questions. Okay. Cool. David, thank you so much for this presentation. It was really, really interesting.
Thank you for having me. It was really nice. So if anyone wants to dig further, of course, I'm in the WhatsApp group of French Tech, and you can grab me easily.
Okay, and I put, for those who are not in the WhatsApp group, I put the link to our website, which is frenchtech.id, where you can find the link to join our WhatsApp group. So any last words, David? conclusion?
No, I don't have any conclusion, except that it was really nice to have this opportunity to share that. I would be again, yeah, not. I would be very interested to get some later feedback, personal. If you want to reach, please feel free. If you want one specific question, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining this session of La French Tech. I am Reza Pirnaza, co-president of La French Tech. Thank you everybody for joining us, and see you in the next session in May. We will not have any session in 2 weeks because it will be Lebaran. So we will have the next session in beginning of May. Thank you so much. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.